Recently, I've been watching K-dramas again, specifically the ones that involve the theme of romance. And something that stood out to me was that second leads most times never get the girl. For most people, including me, this is very perplexing, especially if you're watching a K-drama where the second lead is considerably a better choice as a love interest for the female lead. There are some instances where the second lead ends up with the girl, but it's very rare. When talking about K-dramas, the term second lead is a well-known archetype, usually the male character that plays the role of the third most important person in the story. He's usually very kind, caring, reliable, supportive, and despite having these great traits, he's overshadowed by the male lead. This means he has fewer scenes and his storyline is not explored as in-depth as the male or female lead. Now, there is a certain formula that I've been seeing in these K-dramas, which involves featuring the love triangle trope. And this trope brings more conflict or makes the storyline more interesting in essence. Especially in the romance genre where the female lead, and this depends on the K-drama you're watching, but she's usually a kind-hearted, independent, sometimes quirky and relatable character, and based on the storyline, she would then fall for or get involved with the male lead, who is typically portrayed as the central figure or the main love interest. He's often charismatic, charming, and possesses qualities that make him different from the rest. And his strong presence and captivating personality not only attract the attention of other girls, but also capture the heart of the female lead. Of course, there is the second lead, who's most times written to be sweeter and a lot more self-sacrificing. He's usually depicted as a close friend or confidant who not only has more in common with her, but is deeply in love. Most time, this love is unrequited and throughout the series is intensified, creating a captivating but sad dynamic in the storyline. Now, as the story unfolds within the series, the second lead competes with the male lead for the affection of the female lead. Their rivalries are filled with emotional confrontations, sacrifices, and sometimes character development. We, the viewers, are often torn between supporting the charismatic male lead and the genuine loving second lead. This isn't to say that the male lead isn't genuine or loving. Usually, they gradually get there, but this all depends on what you're watching. Ultimately, the outcome of the love triangle results in the second lead not getting the girl and is eventually able to move on, with the mere knowledge that the girl that they love and will never end up with is happy.
No, don't like that.
I think this is unrealistic. There's no way someone could be truly happy watching the love of their life end up with another person. It's kind of unsatisfying to watch because most of these guys deserve way better than the cards they were dealt with. For instance, in the K-drama Nevertheless, Do-hyuk, the second lead, develops genuine feelings for the female lead, Yunabi. They even shared a genuine friendship. She enjoys spending time with him, she confided in him, and he's very supportive of her. However, despite the genuine connection they share, Nabi does not reciprocate his romantic feelings, which she is in her own right to do, but then she remains focused on her complicated, emotionally draining, and not to mention toxic relationship with the male lead, Jae-yeon. What I found absurd is that she invested time and effort into nurturing a promising connection with the second lead, only to abruptly abandon it and return to the relationship with the toxic male lead. Now, I do understand that within this drama, Nabi does have some emotional baggage and insecurities that she struggles with, but Being that a part of the baggage is her trauma from her past toxic relationship, you'd think that she'd aim for something healthier. In my opinion, she should have taken the time to heal, but equally perplexing is her tendency to romanticize the bare minimum, even after the fact of being mistreated by the male lead.
나 아직 너한테 왜 있어?
너 그럼 나 영영 안 보려고 했어?
나 싫어한다는 게 너무 괴로워서.
너 진짜 싫고 저 눈에 보이니까 좀 살 것 같다. 너 어디 가지 말고 내 옆에 있어. 박지현, 우리 사귀자.
후회 안 하겠어?
후회하겠지. 그래도 해볼게. 보여줄게.
멋지다, 윤업이. 박재현 좋아하는 거지.
아마도. 그래도 너랑 함께했던 시간들은 정말 행복했어, 도혁아. 고마워. 그리고 미안해.
나도 너 덕분에 이런 감정 느낄 수 있어서 행복했어. 고마워. 그러니까 미안해하지 마.
This is literally what happens at the end of the drama. He does absolutely nothing, and they end up together anyway. Versus the second lead, Do Hyuk, who literally makes the effort to win her over, gets rejected in the end. Another drama I wanted to mention is My Demon. It's slightly different from Nevertheless as it is a fantasy, but my point still applies. Specifically, what I wanted to point out is the fact that Gu-won didn't want to marry Do-hee until Seok-hoon proposed first. I think it's absolutely wild that Gu-won turned her down initially, and only after Seok-hoon stepped up, Gu-won decided out of jealousy, he all of a sudden wanted to marry her. And guess who she picked? In the realm of K-dramas, I've observed that female leads' choices often defy logical reasoning, which leaves me, and I can imagine some of you as well, both bewildered and sort of intrigued, because these narratives tend to showcase a pattern wherein the female lead disregards positive indicators in her pursuit of love, inadvertently favoring tumultuous relationships that require significant emotional investment. And I'm kind of pissed. You might be watching this and saying, well, this isn't all K-dramas. There's some where the female lead does end up with the second lead. And that's true, but I've only ever seen one. And even he went through hell before he got the girl. That drama was a whole other level of messed up, because tell me why they got my dude going through trials and tribulations before he finally got his happy ending. Yeah, he got the girl, but at what cost? So here's my question. Why? Why is it like this? Why do second leads end up getting the shorter end of the stick? Well, the answer is, I have no idea. I did state earlier in the video that this isn't in depth. I'm just someone on the internet with opinions. But I can guess that the reason why this could be, apart from the obvious, is it's the writer's intentions. They do have the creative liberty to shape the story and characters however they want. I'm not happy about it, but that's the way it is. The phenomenon of second leads in K-dramas not getting the girl often serves as a specific narrative purpose. While the male lead typically represents the ideal romantic partner and embodies the qualities that the audience desires, the second lead is designed to offer an alternative perspective. Like I've said before, he's used to make the story more interesting. But personally, second leads also prove to be worth so much more than a prop for the next subplot. They tend to possess qualities that make them compelling and relatable characters. And despite not getting the romantic outcome they desire, they do have meaningful character arcs and personal growth, which is why I think they deserve so much better. Being a second lead doesn't diminish a person's worth, and rejection shouldn't ruin the connections they formed. I think second leads can and should be able to find happiness and success in their own right. And their stories can serve as a reminder that real life second leads can also have positive outcomes.